game on Frank Cisneros, JR. He's going to have to take advantage of that reach immediately, especially only having 2 rounds to execute a game plan here. You want to take advantage of every single tool and every single opportunity that you have. And I believe that for Frank Cisneros, keeping Jesse Loma at the end of those jabs is going to really play into favor for him.
Yeah, you're correct. 3 rounds, actually, 3 2-minute rounds.
My fault.
And already we're seeing the good defensive footwork of Cisneros. He's not backing straight up. He's not rushing straight in. He's working little circles, working some angles. So good job, obviously well coached out of the top-notch gym.
Sure.
These guys are really putting in work like always.
Sure.
They had great showings last night from a number of fighters.
Jesse Loma, I'm noticing, is pushing out his mouthpiece. Very, very dangerous thing to do. That's how broken jaws happen, as we know.
Yes, sir, and knockouts.
And knockouts, and and it's either a situation of maybe his mouthpiece not fitted properly, but he seems to already be pushing that out, and that's never a good sign.
And early in his career, it could be an adrenaline dump, too.
True.
Could just be in there being a little bit nervous, and he's facing some tough competition against Mr. Cisneros, possibly feeling a little overwhelmed. What I'm seeing out of Loma a little bit here, Ron, is he's pushing his punches, and he's also, as he punches, trying to pull his head back and be out of the way.
And always that leaves that chin up in the air that we talk about.
You need to be committed. Either you're punching and moving in, or you're getting out of the way. You're not going to do both at the same time.
You know, and if I'm in Frank Cisneros' corner, I'm telling him, you know, hook to the body, come up to the head. It's going to be there for you as Jesse Loma is going to be pulling back, just like you said.
And heard the 10-second clacker. Oh, and a good end of the round for Cisneros.
Beautiful.
Puts together a nice combination. So, Ron, if you're in the corner of Loma, what are you telling your fighter?
You know, I think for Loma, it's just like you said, JR. I think that he's trying to figure out the distance right now is what we're seeing, right? So he's trying to gauge the distance of Cisneros. He's trying to find his own rhythm in that pocket. I think that the key for Loma is going to be to stay low, keep yourself in different levels, keep your head moving, and also hook to the body. Try to slow down a bigger man.
And keep that chin down. We're seeing it here on the replay right at the end there. Again, as he was throwing those punches, that chin was lifting up because he was trying to lean back. He's not gaining much distance leaning back, not far enough to get out of punches, but he is putting that chin up there. So for Mr. Cisneros, what are you telling him?
You know, I think for Frank, I think one of the things that you want to do is obviously utilize your length, get into the pocket because you are comfortable in there. You know that your opponent's leaving his chin up high. Go to the body, go to the head.
And the only thing I would add to that for Mr. Cisneros is mix in some body work a little bit.
Absolutely.
Body
and head.
Yeah, body and head. Been doing a little bit of head hunting.
Yeah.
And we're going to neutral corners here, so not sure what's going on. Something on the ring.
Maybe some water?
Oh, some ice cubes, I believe. Little slushy in the corner. All right, here we go. Ding, ding. Punchy, punchy time. And Cisneros coming out with a little more ferocity. See Loma trying to answer. Yeah, just like you called for, Ron. We hear the corner of Cisneros saying body head.
Got a nice little blood shower early in the game. But I think what you're seeing right now, though, JR, is you're seeing Frank Cisneros starting to feel comfortable right away. He's starting to understand the fact that Loma is leaving his head up high, and he's starting to take advantage of those opportunities right now.
And Cisneros' corner has worked with him before. They know his habits, his tendencies. As an independent fighter, Mr. Loma may have just picked up some help in the corner as he got here today.
Yes.
Somebody that doesn't know him as well and know what his capabilities are. And Loma taking some deep breaths, and again, that mouthpiece being pushed out.
Yeah.
Referee Stephen Blea, one of the greats in Colorado, of course, is going to be aware of that, and he'll keep a good close eye on it.
And a good stiff jab right there from Frank Cisneros, and that's really the key for him. He's got that frame, he's got that long lever that he can really utilize to keep Loma at the end of his punches, which is what he's doing right now. And then at the same time, I got to tell you, I'm seeing something wrong with Jesse Loma.
Yeah, you talked about how Cisneros feels comfortable in the pocket. With that reach advantage, he's almost a little too close at times.
He really
almost
is.
smothering his own punches.
He really is.
He could stand to be on the outside a little more, and he'd have a little more power in his shots. But again, that just speaks to the fact that he's early in his career,
That's
and
it.
he's excited to be in there and mix it up.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with seeing an excitement when you're in there early in your career. I think he's getting some outstanding coaching, as we know from what the Top Notch Gym has put out consistently through the years. So I think that that's something that he's got, to look forward to. I also know that he's got some great training partners up there.
I was going to say, yes.
So he's going to be improving every single day in that gym. His performances are going to reflect that when he's starting to fight different types of caliber fighters.
And over in the corner of Loma, he's not breathing as hard as I thought he might be. Actually looks fairly calm, fairly relaxed over there. Doesn't seem to be worried about the situation. I have Cisneros firmly up 2-0.
Same here. So now, up 2-0, just like you said. You're in the corner of Frank Cisneros. What do you tell him? Are you telling him to go after the finish, or are you telling him to keep doing what he's doing?
Doing what he's doing and put in some work. Don't hunt for the finish. If it presents itself, your coaches are going to be there and they're going to tell you to give that final strong flurry. But early in his career right now, he doesn't need to be planning things like that.
Get some practice.
Just go out, get your ring time, let it happen.
And how about for Jesse Loma? I mean, clearly he's struggling with the length of Cisneros. He's struggling with the defensive part of this bout. What do you tell him?
Go home and watch the tapes and see what the tendencies are, see what the mistakes were, and find out what it is that you can work on. And like I said, he comes to us as an independent fighter. Maybe try to find a gym where he can get a little better look with some more training partners and some really nice solid coaching so that he doesn't have to try to correct things after the fact.
Stephen Blea doing the right thing here.
Yep. Think he's, yep.
He clearly saw that Jesse Loma was
pushed out, yep.
Outclassed. And there's no reason to become demoralized in there. Just like you said, go home, learn from this, come back a better fighter.
And congratulations to the top-notch fighter, Frank Cisneros. Going to get a third-round TKO win. Nicely done, sir.
That was absolutely the right call. 100%. I do want to see some better head movement out of Jesse Loma his next time out. He was very straight. He was very upright, chin way up in the air, pushing punches. As he was pushing punches, his head and his chin extended. I think the key for him is as he matures in his career, he's going to have to start shoulder rolling and ducking and moving a little bit better.
And, a lot of people will say getting hit is a skill. You have to be used to it. And what that kind of shows me is if you're in there and you're not used to being hit, you're trying to pull away from those punches.
That's right.
Whereas if you know something's coming, you're like, I've dealt with that before. I'm going to let it roll.
That's right.
Let it go. All right, let's take it up to Sean Patrick and get the official time. Come on, Sean.
At 41 seconds of round number 3, referee Blea has got a stop to this fight, declaring your winner by TKO, Frank Cisneros. Sean in the cage with Frank. Talk to me about that one a little bit. Obviously, things didn't go the way you wanted in your first fight. You turn it around, you get the TKO victory tonight.
I've been working hard. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my family, Top Notch Sports Academy, for all they do, pushing me, putting me through all the hard work. Man, we got a great team. Want to support all my fans that came out too for me. Other than that, man, we've been working hard, putting in a lot of work, so that's what we do.
Talk to me about that fight a little bit. Obviously, some big flurries. Were you ever concerned about endurance maybe as this one got closer to the end?
No, I think more for what we came out, I was pushing the game plan more than what we needed to. I was supposed to, keep them away from the punches, but I kept going in, looking for the brawl, I think. So, but I feel confident about what we came out here and did today. So,
some confidence moving forward now, getting your first victory under your belt, I'm sure, as well. Some people to thank that got you here.
Oh yeah, most definitely. After this victory, we're just going uphill from here, looking for some more fights.
Certainly, man. Congratulations on that victory. Give it up once again for your winner, Frank Cisneros. Back with fight number 2 in just a matter of moments. On to fight number 2 of the afternoon. It's an elimination 175-pound bout. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. Please make welcome Leo Acosta.
And here we go. We're bumping it up to a 175-pound division, Ron. These guys still using 12-ounce gloves. Another fight of 3 2-minute rounds. And Leo Acosta coming to the cage first, or excuse me, the ring first.
The cage, huh?
How about that?
No, this is actually an interesting fighter here. We're just like you said, 175 pounds, very tall, very long fighter. We always talk about that type of a frame as being a champion-style frame. In boxing, a lot of times that doesn't equate. So I'm curious to see how Leo Acosta here shows up. I mean, is he going to utilize that length? Is he going to utilize the reach? Is he going to try to get inside, mix it up? Is he going to try to show power? You know, it's one of those riddles that we only get a chance to see as the fight unfolds.
Can't really check out the structure of his legs because of the long shorts, but he does have a powerfully built upper body.
Correct. Curious to see if he uses the tools that he's been given to leverage for scoring.
Fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. Please make welcome P.J. Walker.
And P.J. Walker coming to us. Coming to us, I believe, out of Family Affair Boxing, maybe?
Possibly so.
I believe it is.
And Mr. Walker could not look more calm coming
I agree.
to the ring.
I agree.
Oh, my goodness.
Looks like he's done this once or twice.
Reminds me of one of the Emelianenko brothers in MMA. Like he
yes.
just woke up and still shaking out the cobwebs.
That's right.
Oh,
right.
goodness, I'm in a fight. So Walker, obviously no stranger to the ring.
Yep.
Fight number 2 of the afternoon is presented by Mean Green Pest Control. Mean Green Pest Control, we mean business, and also brought to you by Brandon Dodge on Broadway, home of the big deal, online at brandondodge.com. It's now time to meet the elimination 175-pound fighters. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. From Topete Boxing Club in Denver, Colorado, please make welcome Leo Acosta. And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. From Bringing Back Boxing in Denver, Colorado, P.J. Walker. This elimination 175-pound bout is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds. Referee is Tim Mills.
Okay, gentlemen, you were given instructions earlier today. I expect a clean fight, protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Any questions out of the blue corner? Questions from the red corner? Gentlemen, touch gloves. Let's fight.
Mr. Acosta in the white trunks representing Topita Boxing, and the Bring It Back Boxing Gym represented by Mr. P.J. Walker. Walker wearing the red trunks this evening.
And you were referencing earlier, very powerfully built Leo Acosta. I got to say the same thing for Mr. P.J. Walker. He is jacked, and he's got a nice hook on him.
And here in the 175-pound division, that's when you start seeing some of the bigger power.
That's
some
right.
of these guys that are going to wobble each other with just a single shot.
And I got to tell you, already I love the way that I'm seeing P.J. Walker flash that jab. Beautifully done.
You are a fan of the jab.
I am. I believe that there's so much work that can be done behind it.
And Walker immediately mixing up the level of his punches. Not only working rights and lefts, but going body and head as well.
And I want to make a correction. I did say a family affair boxing, and what I meant was Bring It Back boxing with head coach Hector Sainz. So we've seen exactly what he brings to his fighters, and his fighters are very, very well-trained fighters, very fundamentally sound, and we're seeing that exactly right now out of P.J. Walker.
And Walker doing a really nice job with that right hook.
He really
He's
is.
gone about 3 times in there and snapped around the head of Acosta.
And he looks to be timing Acosta as Acosta's coming into the pocket.
Walker measuring his opponent.
Nice hook right there from Walker again. And I got to tell you, Acosta's bringing it to him. Nice digging hooks to the body from P.J. Walker, JR.
Wouldn't mind seeing Acosta manage the distance a little better. He has a pretty distinct height and reach advantage. And every time that he's going to get into these exchanges, he's stepping into Walker's range and not trying to keep it just in his.
And the only thing that I'm seeing right now out of Acosta that I don't like is that he's kind of telegraphing when he's coming into the pocket here. And he's just eating hooks right there, just like we saw.
And another one. Referee Tim Mills sacrifices in the body, jumping in between the two.
Tim's the man. Very, very closely contested first round as we take a look at the replay, JR. We're seeing Acosta right now trying to control the middle of the ring, but P.J. Walker right there eating that combination that we're seeing and then returns that hook as a favor.
And as much as Acosta is the one that's stepping forward, really dictating the pace and managing the fight is Walker.
Yes, yes. I want to see, out of P.J. Walker, I want to see him go to the body a little bit more because I think that body is there for the taking with Acosta. For Acosta, I want to see him utilize his reach a little bit better. I want to see him keep P.J. Walker at the end of his jab a little bit more. Maybe give him some angles as well.
And just not step into Walker's range.
Correct.
Just not be there for those exchanges like that. Just
Exactly
right out there
right.
on the outside of it. Nicely done. So it sounds like maybe the coaches in the corner of Acosta were over there in his ear. A couple of stinging shots.
Good body shot landed from Acosta. And one of the things that I do see with Acosta is as he's coming to engage, he's dropping that left hand pretty easily, or pretty low, I should say. I never like seeing the left hand come down too far.
And Walker, again, just looks so calm no matter what happens.
He does, but he's starting to telegraph things. And nice tight defense being shown by Acosta. Really, really well done there for Leo. Oh, I think he may have P.J. Walker in a little bit of trouble here, JR.
Yeah, a little bit of wobble in the footwork. Oh, both fighters land a good shot there. Walker looking to answer back now.
And there was
Beautiful
the
job
jab
on the timing by Walker.
Yes.
Interrupting
Yes.
his opponent's
Yes.
rhythm.
And now he's starting to find a home for that left hand. Good fight here, JR. Really good fight in the second round.
Looks like both guys received some really nice information between rounds, utilizing it well. And like you said, Ron, making a nicer fight out of it for the fans.
And I think P.J. Walker's starting to show some power with that right hand that he's landing.
And digging the body like his corner asked for. Ooh.
And
And
same
there
with
you were
Acosta.
saying, telegraphing it a little bit was Walker.
Uh-huh.
Acosta met him on the way in. 10-second clacker sounded. Round 3 coming up.
Good round for both of these guys. I'm curious how the coaches feel about their performances in between rounds right now. I do see a little bit of concern on the coach of, in the coach's corner here for PJ Walker, as he's right in front of us, JR. But as we go into this third and final round, I think that this is a very tightly contested fight already.
Yeah, I think it's up for grabs here in the third.
This one could dictate who wins this fight. As we take a look at the replay here, we're seeing PJ Walker throwing combinations, which is what we always want to see, but now Leo Acosta starts to come in and really capitalize with hooks. Those hooks have been landing effectively for Acosta.
And doing a nicer job of managing that distance.
That's right.
Not getting into Walker's range. Walker having to work to be in range now. Acosta not just walking to him.
Acosta definitely the aggressor here in the third and final.
And managing that aggression well. In round number 1, he was trying to do that, but he wasn't really dictating with it. And now he is.
I'll tell you right now, we've got a fight on our hands as PJ Walker lands a hard right hand. Both these guys standing in the pocket trading right now beautifully. Both of these guys landing hooks effectively.
Just for a second, Walker had his chin way up.
Yes.
Like he was trying to take a good look at things. Got to be careful of that. He corrected it quickly, but.
Can't admire your working there too long. Much straighter right hand being thrown down the pipe there for PJ Walker, but Acosta walking through it and really starting to throw volume now.
And a couple of deeper breaths coming out of Walker. First signs that he's starting to feel like maybe he's in the final round of a fight.
PJ Walker's been landing that big right hand. He's landed it a few times.
And there, a definite deep breath by Walker.
Oh, yeah.
Still has his power,
Absolutely.
though.
These guys, just like you said, these guys don't lose that power as the fights go on.
And Acosta really coming into his own here in the last about round and a half. Has picked it up nicely, measuring the distance very well, being more accurate while adding power, and that's not necessarily an easy thing to do.
True, and he's seemingly showing some fatigue as well right now.
Just now starting to,
yes,
you're right.
Yes.
10-second clacker, let's see who digs deep.
Oh.
And both of them digging, nicely done.
They're standing trading here in the pocket. They're looking to finish big.
Both of them giving the judges something to think about.
Good fight from both these guys.
Nice.
Very, very good fight from both of these guys.
And a nice finish, especially considering we're
Absolutely.
referenced that we knew they were both tired.
Absolutely.
Just like every coach ever tells you, you hear that 10-second clacker, you move your hands.
That's right.
Referee Tim Mills walking around gathering the scores. Let the judges add 2 columns of 3 numbers.
Both these guys put out a very, very good showing.
And their volume and power picked up
as the fight went on.
So obviously speaks well of their conditioning, the time they're putting in the gym, getting their work done and under good tutelage.
Very good tutelage, 100% agreed. And I believe that tutelage was the difference in their performances getting better as the fight went on.
Agreed. You could tell that their coaches got in their ear, gave them something to work on, and that they listened. Both fighters, both corners.
I wouldn't want to be a judge.
Talk about a thankless job.
You're not kidding. You are not kidding. Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't know. This one could go either way.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset to see either side win this one.
As we take a look at the replay here,
we're
JR.
about to have Sean give us the final word here.
Judges' scorecards. Judge Thrasher scores about 29-28 Walker. Judge Mullen scores about 29-28 Acosta. And Judge Short scores about 29-28, declaring a winner by split decision, Leo Acosta. Sean in the ring with Leo. Talk to me about that fight, man. Obviously, willing to take some big punches to land some as well.
Yep, it was a pretty tough fight. Credits to my opponent. He's a really good competitor, and I couldn't select somebody with a more difficult style.
You come out of one of these fights like this with a lot of experience, though, I'm sure. So what's next for you moving forward?
Hopefully I could get a couple more fights and see me on SCL a couple more times.
We hope to do that. Some people you want to thank, I'm sure.
I want to thank my parents, my girlfriend, Coach Joaquin, and my homie Angel right here. Thank you.
Congratulations on the victory. Give it up once again for your winner, Leo Acosta. Back with our first pro fight of the afternoon coming up next.
Use what the Spartans use. Spartan Labs, fueling the ultimate athlete and beyond. Check your local gym and Spartan Labs online to find high-quality nutritional supplements to aid in accomplishing your fitness goals. Whether you want to slim down or bulk up, welcome to the brand. Spartan Labs has all the top products from pre-workout to post-workout and everything in between. Available for every physique and training regimen. Online at SpartanLabsOnline.com.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a coop soup.
So beautiful.
Beautiful just like you.
Oh, I love
And we covered it November 6, 2009. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
It's time for our first professional fight of the afternoon. It is a pro 125-pound exhibition. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. Please make welcome Arturo El Mono Melo.
JR, Arturo Melo coming to us now at 147 pounds. First professional bout of the afternoon. He's gonna have his hands full today with Timmy Barra. There's no question about that. This one's actually one of the fights that I was really looking forward to on the card today.
Still going to be 3 2-minute rounds, but we have dropped down to 10-ounce gloves from what we'd had previously, which was the 12-ounce gloves. So a little less padding, a little less protection. This guy's able to tag each other just a little bit harder.
And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. Please make welcome Tim El Gato Negro Barra.
And making his way down the walkway is Tim Ibarra. Very, very astute family of boxing.
Large contingent of people with him this afternoon.
Yes, sir. Brings quite a level of expertise with him. Our main event fighter of the day, Manny Perez, in his corner as well, of course.
Like he doesn't have other things to think about.
That's right. And we're taking a look at the tail of the tape right here, JR.
Presented by Bubba Chino's in Brighton. Quick serve Mexican grub for breakfast until the wee hours on weekends. Also brought to you by Be Well Massage. Our goal is to help provide people living pain-free. Let's meet the professional 125-pound fighters first. Fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, holding a professional record of 3 wins and 2 losses from Hustle Hard Boxing Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Please make welcome Arturo El Mono Melo. And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance, Thomas Swenson blue corner, holding a professional record of 4 wins and 5 losses from a family affair boxing in Denver, Colorado. Please make welcome Tim El Gato Negro Barra. Referee for this fight is Tim Mills.
Okay, gentlemen, you were given instructions earlier this afternoon. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Any questions out of the red corner? Any questions out of the blue corner? Gentlemen, touch gloves. Let's fight.
And of note, Ron, is the fact that Melo just 19 years old.
Excuse me, yes. Shocking. Yes, you know, as we take a look at Tim Ibarra, one of the things that I always love about watching Ibarra is he immediately establishes range. Immediately. That is his trademark almost. Not just that, but when he does commit, he commits to hard punches and he immediately gets out. I love watching this kid fight.
And he does have the height and reach advantage here this afternoon. So, working on that range. Obviously, we're thinking we're going to see him working more from the outside. But what I noticed when they were in tight already is a really nice job by Ibarra of pulling his elbows back, shortening up his limbs, and rotating his body. Not trying to arm punch when he's in close, but letting his body do the work in order to generate the power.
And credit to Arturo Melo right now for coming in and mixing up punches, mixing up levels as he's in the pocket, engaging Ibarra. And that's not easy to do.
Melo's not afraid to be in there,
Not
is
at all.
he?
Not at all. I love his head movement. I'm a big fan of head movement, as we always don't get a chance to see head movement very often, really. We don't see it in MMA, and you and I call predominantly more MMA fights than we do boxing fights. But with this boxing from SCL, we're starting to see more of these guys implementing a boxing style in MMA too.
And Ibarra waiting a little bit there. See if that's something that his corner talks to him about. See if they'd like to have him initiating the action a little bit more.
He's a very methodical fighter, very similar to Manny Perez. They kind of establish the distance, they establish the range, and then they start to systematically break down their opponents.
10-second clackers sounded. Good round for Melo.
Very good round for both guys, actually.
Has a big task in front of him
Yes,
this afternoon,
yes.
and he has met it well so far.
100% agreed. Both these guys look to be in outstanding shape, of course. As we take a look at the replay, we're seeing Melo taking control of the center of the ring, and Ibarra being forced to work from the outside and tie up Melo as Melo tries to establish his dominance in the pocket.
Yeah, Melo doing a nice job of closing the distance, bridging that gap without putting himself in too much danger. He's always putting a punch out there and following that punch in, as opposed to just trying to step across and then throw a punch. So a good way to keep himself safe against the longer, taller fighter while trying to get in close.
I think a big key for Tim Ibarra moving forward in this fight could be the uppercut. The uppercut could play well into somebody that's constantly engaging and lower than you in the pocket. And as he's coming in, you know, let's look for that uppercut from Ibarra.
Good call. Coach Ron has spoken.
And actually, he just threw it now.
Melo continues to be unafraid to press the action.
Really good head movement, too.
Really impressed with his ability to pressure forward. And with Ibarra, I like your analogy of comparing him to Perez in the methodical style. The fact that I know what I'm going to do, I've got a game plan, I'm just going to get in there and let it work itself out.
Yeah, and we see that from both guys. not meaning Ibarra and Manny Perez. They fight very similarly.
Back control momentarily for Ibarra.
Yeah. But Arturo Melo, I got to tell you, this kid, being as young as he is and being as, quote unquote inexperienced as he is, he's really putting a fantastic showing for himself in here.
Certainly seems to be more seasoned than his age and his record would indicate.
Yes, very well said. Love his head movement.
Like right there.
Never a stationary target. I love that. Always makes reading your opponent very difficult.
And he seems to be having a good time.
Yeah, of course. He's got that permanent smile on his face right now. I love it.
Little perma-grin.
Yeah,
good stuff.
I love it. Except when you get hit in the back of the head.
About 15 seconds left in the round.
One of the other things that I'm seeing out of Arturo Melo is he's not wasting punches. He's not wasting any of his efforts. And you're seeing him engage here. He likes that pocket. He is not afraid by any stretch of the imagination as this second round comes to a close.
Just what every coach would like. We talked about it in an earlier fight. That 10-second clacker sounds, you start putting something together.
Yeah, absolutely right. I'm curious as to what Arturo Melo's corner is telling him right now. We obviously are in the corner of Tim Ibarra as we take a look at the replay. Melo has established himself. He is in this pocket. He is in the face of Tim Ibarra, and he's pressing the fight so far.
Agreed. The little bit of methodical nature of Ibarra, I don't know if that's working out great for him. We might be seeing Melo pulling away a little bit here.
Yeah.
Just by virtue of the fact that he's able to take the shots that Ibarra offers and then get in there and answer very well and be the one that seems to be managing the ring and controlling the distance well.
And you're seeing the coaches of Ibarra right now telling him mix levels, go to the head, go to the body, come back to the head. Obviously, that's a recipe that every boxing coach loves to see. But when it's done effectively at the right time, it becomes a thing of beauty.
And neither one of these guys bothered to take a deep breath here.
Right.
Great conditioning.
One of the other things that I'm noticing about the young Arturo Melo is that Arturo Melo does not close his eyes when he's throwing punches. He is in this fight, eyes wide open, looking at the target constantly. And look at the hand speed and the combination work of Tim Ibarra. Beautiful job.
Nicely done. That's the Ibarra we know. And there's
That's
those
right.
uppercuts you were calling for.
They're there. They are there for Melo.
Jackhammered 3 or 4 of them in.
Very nice shoulder roll right there from Tim Ibarra. Extremely comfortable in this ring.
Melo flashing his uppercut on the inside. In the corner of Ibarra, calling for more movement. Not wanting him to be a stationary target.
I agree,
yes,
100%. I think he's getting a little bit complacent and almost looking to counter too much. I'd love to see him implement more attack and initiate the drive or the attack first.
Agreed.
Like that.
Yeah, which Melo's been doing all fight.
That's right.
Quite honestly, it's taken you and I both a little bit by surprise.
Agreed.
His willingness to continue to pressure forward.
The beauty of being young.
The best cardio in the world is the sentence, "Oh, I'm 19."
That's so true. That's so true. Very good technical fight from both guys here, though.
10-second clackers sounded. Both guys moving their hands.
And their heads. Outstanding. Outstanding fight. Really, really good stuff.
Nice work by both fighters. Good sportsmanship over in the corners of each other.
Summing it up, a kid that young shouldn't be that good. It's just that simple. Especially when he's going up against a guy like Tim Ibarra, who's a seasoned veteran. As we take a look at the replay here, we're seeing Arturo Melo really dictate the pace of this fight from the beginning of the fight till the very end. We saw, as we spoke about, Tim Ibarra looking to methodically break him down, systematically break him down. I just don't know if he utilized enough offense in the fight. I felt like Arturo Melo pushed the fight more.
Agreed. And it took you and I both by surprise, Melo's willingness to continually come forward. I wonder if it took Ibarra and his corner by surprise as well.
I think it did. I do. I think it did.
We are about to take it up to Sean Patrick. Let us know how the judges have seen this one. Because, well, your opinion and mine don't really count for anything.
That's true. They don't care what we think. Thankfully.
There is no scoring due to that being an exhibition fight, but one more time for both fighters. Tim El Gato Negro Ibarra and Arturo El Mono Melo. Just a quick reminder, fans, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Grab a drink, grab something to eat. Back with our 3 main card fights in 10 minutes. All officials cage side at this time, please. All officials cage side. It is time for the main card of the afternoon. 3 professional fights live on 9news.com and the 9 News Facebook page. Let's do this. Fight number 4 of the afternoon is a professional 126-pound bout. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. Please make welcome Diego Nolasco.
Diego Nolasco coming to us for our second half of the card. Everybody's wearing 8-ounce gloves from here on out, Ron.
Yes, sir.
And the rounds are 3 minutes instead of 2. And this one is going to be 4 of those 3-minute rounds.
126-pounders, Diego Nolasco. We're going to see him tangle with Mario Quezada. Should be a very interesting fight, as SCL boxing has really catapulted itself into all mixed martial arts, for that matter. Last night we had MMA. Today we have boxing, to hence the name Duality. So far we've seen some really good talent, though, boxing as far as today goes.
Now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. Please make welcome Mario Quezada.
And the Mr. Nolasco, I can say I'm not too thrilled about those Oakland Raider colors he's wearing.
Being a Bronco fan. Being a Bronco fan, that makes perfect sense.
You're in Colorado, young sir. Come on.
Mario Quezada coming to us from Bring It Back Boxing. As we know, these guys are putting out some outstanding quality fighters. And Mario Quezada is no different.
And regularly, their guys all get
a
lot of time in the ring. Speaks well of their conditioning, their consistency. And, Ron, let's check out the tail of the tape.
Yep, as we take a look at the tail of the tape here, Nolasco, 5 years younger than Quezada. Same height, same weight. 0-4 on Nolasco, 1-0 on Quezada.
SpartanLabsOnline.com. Time to meet the professional 126-pound fighters first. Fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. Holding a professional record of 0 wins and 4 losses. An independent fighter from Lexington, Nebraska. Please make welcome Diego Nolasco. And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. Holding a professional record of 1 win and 0 losses from Bring It Back Boxing in Denver, Colorado. Please make welcome Mario Quezada. This professional 126-pound bout is scheduled for 4 3-minute rounds. Referee is Curtis Thrasher.
Okay, gentlemen, we spoke earlier in the dressing room. You know and understand the rules. I expect you to obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Right now, we're going to touch him up. Good luck.
Mr. Nolasco making the drive from Nebraska to join us here this afternoon. He's wearing the black and silver trunks. Independent fighter facing off against the Bring It Back Boxing fighter, Mr. Quezada. He's wearing the fringe trunks.
Immediately we see a very, very tight defense from Diego Nolasco as Mario Quezada starts to really unload on the body and the head, throwing beautiful hooks, getting really low. Look at that body attack from Quezada. Beautiful job.
And told to bring those punches up just a little bit by the referee. And referee taking a close look at it again. And like you said, Ron, Nolasco just covered up in a turtle shell there. Very hard to penetrate that, but also difficult to get your offense going from that position.
Yeah, and we're seeing him pushing punches just like you referenced earlier tonight, JR. This is one of those situations where there's a fine balance between the two. It's a matter of experience to where you can figure out that fine line between being able to not push punches and still keep your defense tight.
Yeah, still trying to keep yourself covered, not offer your opponent lots of openings, but definitely a lot of arm punching going on right there by Mr. Nolasco.
Quezada doing a really beautiful job, though, of mixing up levels. I love seeing that. I love seeing body attacks as you see him getting low in his stance, going to the body, coming up with uppercuts, just fantastic sequencing.
And the corner of Quezada saying, dig that body hard.
And he has been.
No doubt about that. And here's some of those shots thudding over here.
Oh, beautiful uppercut.
Beautiful
That's
uppercut.
the answer right there. When you get somebody that's covered up like that, really with that almost that peekaboo style, that uppercut's the key.
And starting to mix up his punching attack a little bit is Nolasco.
Still very much pushing punches, though. Really lunging and not really being able to generate a lot of power behind it. There's no torque in anything that he's throwing. It's just straight, straight off the elbow. And contrary to that, as we're seeing with Quezada, Quezada's just doing a beautiful job of giving angles, and there's that uppercut again.
Nicely
It's
on
just,
the step out.
Yeah, it's timing it right, and you can see he's not pushing punches. That's the difference.
And Quezada not taking a break either. I don't think he's quit moving his hands since the bell started this fight. Got about 20 seconds left in the round. It is 3 minutes now, so definitely putting in his work is Quezada.
Yeah, no question about it. Still keeping his hands up tight for defense. Doing a beautiful job of getting those hooks to the body as well, which really sets up those uppercuts for him.
And Quezada, good flurry to finish the round.
Good, solid fundamentals from Mario Quezada. As we've seen, from Bring It Back Boxing, all their guys are really fundamentally sound. We've actually said it just about every fighter that's been out so far.
True enough. You speak the truth, Ron. Keep with it.
I try. As we take a look at the replay here, JR, we see Quezada setting up the body attack. The body attacks are allowing him to get inside and to land to the bodies, to the hooks. Just really beautiful sequencing, and seeing the openings from Quezada is what he's doing very well. And you can see his corner referencing that the uppercut is there. That's that ability to really create the opening, and that's what Coach Saenz is telling him. Create the opening. Use the hooks to create the opening for the uppercut. It's there.
So for Nolasco, what are you telling him if you're in his corner?
I think for Nolasco, I would say to him, don't come so straightforward as you're seeing right now. You need to get some angles. You need to get some footwork. You need to get in and out of the pocket, and you really have to start throwing that right hand more. And how about for Quezada, JR?
Continue with more of the same. The fact that he is so busy is keeping Nolasco from being able to get off hardly anything because of that defensive style that he has. So tell him to just keep up the volume of punching that he's doing and keep up with the mix of punches that he's had.
Exactly right, yep.
It's an adjustment of the trunks there by the referee. Back to punchy.
And let's break that down a little bit. So referee Curtis Thrasher is saying to Quezada, I need you to keep the punches up. Ironically, with that same breath, the coaches of Quezada said, stay to the body. Keep to the body, because he's not going to expect you to be staying at the body if the ref is keeping an eye on you.
Right.
And there we're seeing the uppercut there again.
And that speaks into the coach's trust of their fighter.
100%.
That he's going to be able to target the punches where they need to be, keep them legal, and not get in trouble with the referee while he's doing his work.
100%. One of the other problems that I'm seeing with Nolasco is really he's got his chin down, and that's a positive thing, but he's really burying his chin to the point where he really can't see anything coming.
Very good point. Like you called the peekaboo style,
Yeah.
but he's not really even peeking out of there.
And you can see he's just fundamentally he just needs to improve on being able to, you can see he's off balance a little bit. There's just a few things that he needs to really work on.
And for Nolasco, having a hard time throwing combinations from that style where he's got his palms basically turned into his face, is you have to adjust your hands before you can throw, as opposed to the style of more pinky toward the floor, thumb toward the ceiling.
That's right.
That we're seeing from Quezada, where the punch is already in the proper rotation.
And look, for Diego Nolasco, this is not a dig on him. You know, we're not being negative. I want to see him improve. So we're kind of hoping that, you know, he'll go back, review the tape, and see, you know, what we're seeing here. When you're in that fight, when you're in the firefight, you really can't see much, and that's why you rely on your coaches. But when you get a chance to go home and you get a chance to review the tape, you can kind of see certain things. And, you know, I mean, aside from walking in and kind of, you know, walking straight forward, he's just got to really work on some footwork and offensive, and being able to really throw punches technically sound. Those are the two things I would really have him focus on when he gets back to the gym.
And coming to us as an independent fighter, it's hard to say how often he's getting really sound coaching as well.
That's right.
So,
all we see is what we see.
Right. 10-second clock. We're about to finish up the second of 4 rounds here in a professional division.
Beautiful work from Mario Quezada, keeping his chin, keeping his forehead buried in the stomach of Nolasco. Just allows him to see everything that's right in front of him. It's just a fantastic thing as we take a look at the replay here. You can see Quezada really getting low, and you can see him protecting himself. At the same time, when he does unleash offense, he unleashes offense to the body, to the head, back to the body.
I'm enjoying the replay here,
Yeah,
Ron.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, and just how busy Quezada is
right.
staying is really serving him so well. It just, even if he's not damaging his opponent with every punch, one, it's looking good for the judges, and two, it's keeping his opponent from finding a rhythm or being able to initiate an attack.
And he's creating the openings. That's what we talk about. He's creating his own openings.
Get the mouthpiece in there for Mr. Quezada. Referee Curtis Thrasher calls him to the center to start him off for the third of 4 rounds. So is there a point here, Ron, where if you're in Quezada's corner, you tell him to start looking for a finish?
You know, I think it's just like what you said earlier. I think you're here to get some practice time in. You know, you're clearly dominating your opponent. You're fundamentally sound compared to your opponent. I don't believe that Mario Quezada feels like Nolasco is a threat to him in any way. I think you take advantage of the ring time and you get those minutes in these rounds that are, you know, in front of people. So, because this is where you really start to think during a fight. So I would actually push for him not to try to finish. If it's obviously there, you take it. But I just don't think it's necessary. You agree, or?
Yeah, I agree. Other than the fact that now we're looking at the professional division, and of course everybody likes to have knockouts on their record as a pro, likes to have finishes. It's something that may help draw you to other promoters moving forward.
Sure.
And Nolasco just continues with that cover-up style. Very difficult for him to get off combinations here.
Yeah, and it's going to be, especially with somebody as busy as Quezada. You know, he's not just in your face offensively. Defensively, he's really tight. He's not giving you anything.
Yeah, and if you're waiting to counter, it's just the opportunity's never there.
It's not there.
Either his hands are moving or he's out of the way.
That's right.
Looking for the big uppercut. Knocking out the ring lights, as Chevalo would say.
And you know, that's a little bit of a dangerous punch. Obviously, the higher up you get in competition levels, you got to be really careful throwing uppercuts because you do leave yourself open. But I think at this level right now, it's actually the perfect punch for this fight.
Agreed, and like you talked about, trying to split that guard, that nice tight defense,
yeah,
just coming right up the middle when the opportunity opens up for it.
You know, and for Nolasco, that is actually something that he does very well. He keeps his hands up high. He keeps his defense tight. But he's just limited in the way that he really can get his offense going right here.
And
but
again,
he's a gamer. He is a gamer.
Again, just kind of lunging forward with those punches. Something that might serve you on opponent that's hurt, somebody that's staggered. You're trying to step forward that long, bridge that gap, get the power into it. But for somebody that still is fresh and moving as well, it's going to be a difficult task.
And Quezada moves exceptionally well. And here's the angles that we were talking about. This is exactly what you want to see, especially late in the fight. You want to see those angles being created because it just gives you so many more openings to work on.
One more round to go for these fighters.
Three out of four in the books. As we take a look at the replay here, we see that step-off angle right there. Steps off, follows with the right hand over the top, then digs to the body, comes back to the head, JR. It's textbook. This is exactly textbook stuff right here.
It's just masterful. If you were a coach in a corner, this is what you'd be telling them to do. Work the body, work the head, mix those levels, circle off, don't be a stationary target, move your head. Quezada's just doing all the right things today.
100% agreed.
This afternoon, he's gonna go home putting a big smile on his coaches' faces. No doubt about that.
And you know, he should be happy with his performance too. He should be happy with the work because he's putting out a lot of output today. At the same time, he's keeping his technique sound. He's not getting sloppy. He's not getting loose. He's really working on a lot of things as we're seeing in here. And I you know, it's just a matter of being in a different level than Nolasco.
And neither fighter looking tired. Nobody breathing hard, and for Quezada, that's great considering his output over the course of so far 3 rounds, and I don't expect him to start to fade now.
Right. And the one thing that you got to be careful, though, if you are Quezada at this point, is if you're going to stay in that pocket like that, head-to-head like that, you've got to be careful for headbutts.
Exactly.
It's one thing to work inside. It's a different thing when you have somebody that's a little bit on the reckless side coming in. You've got to almost protect yourself and them by really protecting yourself.
And Nolasco, I think he's hurt a little bit.
I do too.
Almost looking down at the floor now.
His left eye looks to be closing.
I just got a shot of that, Ron. You're exactly right.
But he's a tough kid, man. There's no question about it. Diego Nolasco is there's no quitting him at all.
Oh, and there's some definite head pushing going on in there.
Beautiful digging hooks right there from Quezada. Also pumping the jab. I just love what I'm seeing out of him.
And just so calm, like he's not feeling any pressure, knows where he is, knows what he has to do. And when you're solid in your defense, that aids to that comfort level.
That's exactly right. And you can see he's protecting himself by stepping out. Nolasco's leading with the head, so he's, Quezada stepping out, doesn't want to take an unnecessary cut, especially when you've been sweating. Skin is more susceptible to cut when it's wet like that, but now he's starting to fire off that jab and keep Nolasco at bay. Beautiful.
And Quezada listening to his corner well. They were telling him which direction they wanted him to circle, and you saw him make the adjustment for it.
Oh, beautiful digging body hooks. I love it. I love what I'm seeing out of him right now.
Less than a minute left in the fight. And seems to me that the corner of Quezada going to let him just continue to fight this round out. Let it go to the judge's decision. They're not getting excited. They're not asking him to do anything different or special. No kind of flurry to close out the round. Just a very working man's fight here.
I love what I'm seeing out of Quezada. I think that he's getting some outstanding work in today. But I think that one of the big takeaway is to be able to crank out that kind of output technically well, effectively, and really almost pitch a shutout defensively at the same time.
And
beautiful
now
finish.
Putting together about a 22-punch combination.
Beautiful, beautiful finish.
And I think the judges have an easy call on this one, Ron.
Very, very much so. Again, Diego Nolasco, when you go home and you do review this tape, we want to give you the pointers that will help you. As we take a look at the replay, we're seeing just that output that we talked about out of Quezada. Look at him. As he's digging to the body, he comes up to the head again, shoulder rolls down, comes back to the body, and again going to the head. So just technically sound work. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful fundamentals. Really, really well executed game plan from Mario Quezada.
And great conditioning by Quezada.
Very much.
To come out and basically the pace that he started with and the length of combinations and the footwork, it just continued without pause throughout the entirety of the fight.
Couldn't have said it better. Absolutely right on the money.
Nicely done by the Bring It Back boxing fighter.
Great coaching out of those guys.
As always.
We see it, and it's obvious. Very, very well coached fighters.
This is for all of y'all. All lives matter is the name of the song. Love yourself, hug yourself, represent and plug yourself because all lives matter.
And we're about to take it up to Butch. You let us know how the judges saw it.
After 4 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 40, 30, 60, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Mario Quezada. Sean in the ring with Mario. Mario, take me through that fight a little bit. Obviously a dominating performance from start to finish. What was the biggest key in this fight?
Well, I was just trying to outbox him, but he's a pretty tough guy, and he was coming forward a lot.
Obviously staying in close was important for you in this one.
Yeah, I tried to start toe-to-toe, but he kept coming too, so we did.
As I mentioned, it was a dominating performance. A lot of guys might be scared. Now you're 2-0. What's up next?
Whatever comes my way, I'm ready.
Some people you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank all my family that came from Texas and all my supporters. And I want to give a shout out to my brother Omar that's in recovery. And that's it.
Congratulations on a performance, a great one.
I want to give a shout out to SCL and Bring It Back Boxing. Thank you.
Congratulations once again. Give it up once again for your winner, Mario Quezada. Back with our co-main event in just a few moments.
Use what the Spartans use. Spartan Labs, fueling the ultimate athlete and beyond. Check your local gym and Spartan Labs online to find high-quality nutritional supplements to aid in accomplishing your fitness goals. Whether you want to slim down or bulk up, welcome to the brand. Spartan Labs has all the top products from pre-workout to post-workout and everything in between. Available for every physique and training regimen. Online at SpartanLabsOnline.com.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a coop soup.
So beautiful.
Beautiful just like you.
Oh, I
And we covered it November 6, 2009. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
At Farmers, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a coop soup.
So beautiful.
Beautiful just like you.
Oh,
And we covered it November 6, 2009. Talk to Farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Use what the Spartans use. Spartan Labs, fueling the ultimate athlete and beyond. Check your local gym and Spartan Labs online to find high-quality nutritional supplements to aid in accomplishing your fitness goals. Whether you want to slim down or bulk up, welcome to the brand. Spartan Labs has all the top products from pre-workout to post-workout and everything in between. Available for every physique and training regimen. Online at SpartanLabsOnline.com.
It is time for the co-main event of the afternoon, a professional 135-pound bout. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. Please make welcome Ernest Knight.
Ron, it's co-main event time. Mr. Ernest Knight coming to the cage. And I'm going to call that a confident walk by the young man.
Absolutely. And somebody at 135 pounds being 6'1", that's impressive. That is impressive.
That is a weight cut. Bet it is not often that he doesn't have the reach advantage.
That for sure. You know, the interesting thing is he's going to tangle with Jose Ariano today.
Fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. Please make welcome Jose Ariano.
Represent and plug yourself because all lives matter. Raise yourself.
He's going to tangle with Jose Ariano today, JR. And,
no easy task.
No easy task at all. Family affair boxing again. Jose Ariano is also not a guy that's short and squat. He's also a long fighter. So this one should be really, really interesting. I believe that Ernest Knight is really going to have his hands full with this up-and-coming star here in Colorado.
And Ariano stopping to get a little appreciation from the crowd.
Is that what they call it?
Here we go with the tail of the tape.
6'1", 140 pounds for Ernest Knight, debuting as a pro. 22-year-old, 5'9", 140 pound, 2-0. Jose Ariano. This one should be fun.
So definite advantage for Ariano in the youth department. We talked about the cardio earlier. I'm 22 versus you're almost 40.
That's right.
The co-main event of the afternoon is presented by MindOps.com, a service system devoted to helping athletes, military personnel, and the everyday individual reach their fullest potentials through scientifically based mental training methods at MindOps.com. Time to meet the co-main event fighters first. Fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, making his professional debut from Southside Boxing in Lincoln, Nebraska. Please make welcome Ernest Knight. And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner, holding a professional record of 2 wins and 0 losses from Bring It Back Boxing in Denver, Colorado. Please make welcome Jose Ariano. Referee for this bout, Stephen Blea.
Okay, gentlemen, we went over all the rules. ¿Listos? Yes, sir. Okay, listen here. See this? Mira. Nothing below that. This is his bell line. I don't want to say anything there. Nothing behind the head. Any questions? Let's touch him up. Let's take care of unfinished business. Let's go.
Professional Ariano with the experience advantage. Did not catch a glimpse at their amateur records, and as they say, once you turn pro, everything starts from the beginning again. So
clean slate.
Obviously, Mr. Knight going to want to try to get that pro start or pro career started off right. And wow,
and same with Ariano
comes out with a fastball.
Yes, he does. I think referee Stephen Blea said, be careful with the head clashing
yeah.
already. But you know, for Ariano, it's not a bad strategy. I mean, he's got to get inside. Clearly, you know, Ernest Knight's got quite a reach advantage on him, and disparaging length advantage, of course. So Ariano's going to have to get inside, and he's landed some hard shots already on Ernest. Yeah, I do too. I think. And that's
wobble
it.
in the footwork.
That's going to be it.
Oh, and that's it. It is over, and right over there in the corner with Doc Alex. He'll get right in there, take a look at the fighter, make sure everybody's okay. But I'm going to go ahead and say we have a contender for knockout of the night there, Ron. My goodness.
If that one doesn't do it, I don't know what does.
That right hand was just something else. He threw a couple of those and saw that it was going to be open, just had to put it on target. Here's a replay.
And you can see Ariano's setting up, engaging distance, using that jab to do it. Bam, to the body and to the head. That combination is lethal all the time.
You've been calling for it all afternoon, and now we know why.
Yes, sir.
And referee Stephen Blea stepping right in there, right on top of the action. Knew that it was going to be over. You called it right away, Ron. No need for a count on that one.
Yeah, you know, somebody hits a deck that hard and doesn't move, you know, for a second or two right away, it's usually the end.
No arms out to break your fall or anything. That's a clean one. Yes, sir. Pretty much all that's left is to get the official time.
Yep. Very clean, very effective work right there from Jose Ariano.
So that moves him to 3-0, and not the kind of start that Mr. Knight wanted for his pro career, but hopefully take it home as a learning experience. And looks like Butch has got the time.
At 41 seconds of round number one, referee Blea has caught a stop to this fight, declaring a winner by KO, Jose Ariano. Sean in the ring with Jose. First of all, congratulations on a dominating victory just 41 seconds in. It's got to feel good.
He felt good, but, well, you know, it's a hard sport, so all that respect to my opponent. I don't have a lot to say, just the fight is dedicated to Maria Guadalupe Cervantes that passed away last Sunday. This fight's for her. All the training was for her. Everything's for her. May you rest in paradise, baby.
Congratulations on the victory. Give it up once again for your winner, Jose Ariano. Back with the main event in just a few moments.
My name is Manuel Perez. I train out of AFA Boxing in Denver, Colorado, roughly off of 48th and Washington. I first initially started boxing for my father. He fought in the service, always wanted to go pro, and never did. And we just, boxing was our way for us to find common ground with each other. So I originally started fighting for him, and then I just fell in love with the sport myself. My family's a huge boxing family. You know, my kids have all been in the gym since they were 3 days old. And so they know the smell, the feel, the sound of the gym. My wife writes for Round by Round, you know, and she loves the sport. So we'll sit there and we'll critique fights, or she'll critique me in training. And, you know, she's another eye, you know, and then I'm really close with my trainer, Fidel Martinez, and his family. We're all extremely tight. And so it's a blessing, it really is. I love it, they love it, we love it. So it's just a daily grind for us. You know, before I hang up the gloves, I'd like to have a crack at one of those titles at 135, and, you know, depending on the opponent, I'd take a title at 140. But, you know, if I can do that, I can walk away okay with, you know, with everything I've accomplished. I'm a blue-collar champ, I've been saying my entire career. And, you know, just another title, you know, they're priceless to me. You can never replace it. All the hard work and the determination you have to put into winning that title, I can't even put it into words. And then, you know, when I hang up the gloves myself, I'll still be involved in boxing. You know, I co-train and I train some fighters now, along with my trainer, Fidel Martinez. So there's always going to be a home for me in the gym. There's always going to be a part for me in the gym. So I'll just transition from, you know, fighting full-time to coaching full-time and assisting him at AFA Boxing. I like to get to the venue early. I like to just, you know, put my music on, get ready right away. Even if we're the main event on the card, I'll get my shoes on and I lace them up, unlace them, and I lace them all the way up. I've done it forever, and it's just one of my things that I make sure it's perfect, I make sure it's nice and tight, I make sure it fits well. And then, you know, just get in the zone. Everybody knows that when we're in the venue, we've clocked in for battle, you know. You know, we joke around here and there, but once we get out to the ring and we walk through those ropes, you know, it's game time. It's us against him, and it's us doing our job to come out successful. And so, you know, once I get hit with that first shot, it's boom, it's ready to go. It's time to fight. I look forward to seeing you guys July 9th at the Convention Center on the SCL card. Stay tuned, there's more to come from us.
Time for the main event of the afternoon. A professional 135-pound bout. Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner, please make welcome Manny Manos Perez.
Making the walk down the ramp. One of the iconic boxing figures in Colorado. Look at the contingency behind this young man. JR.
Comes from a family affair boxing, and it is a family affair.
Without a doubt.
And what a pump up to know that you have that kind of backing coming into the ring.
This guy is really a class act in every way. Total professional, outstanding fighter, family man, wonderful human being.
And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner, please make welcome Quezada Nabiyev.
So Mr. Nabiyev is making his way to the ring. Excuse me. He's got a tough task in front of him today. Like you talked about, Manny Perez, one of the stars in Colorado, getting a name for himself nationally as well. So anybody stepping there into the ring with Mr. Perez is going to have their hands full, and see how that plays out.
He does. The tail of the tape here is showing Manny Perez has got Nabiyev by a year. Both of these guys stand at 5'7", weigh 135 pounds. Manny Perez brings a 27-12-1 record. Nabiyev brings a 25-9-1 record. As we talked about, the methodical breakdown of opponents from Manny Perez is his style. And part of the Russian invasion, as always, is that aggressive, high-pressure style that seemingly the Eastern Bloc countries bring.
And speaking of Eastern Bloc, it is Uzbekistan.
It absolutely is.
Represented by Mr. Nabiyev.
I think that this could be a very difficult test for both guys.
Which makes for a good fight for us, the fans.
That's what we want.
The main event of the evening is presented by Lotte Center. One quick 20-minute appointment can lead to developing a plan to regain your youth and vitality. It's time to meet the professional 135-pound fighters first. Fighting out of the Dynamic Mortgage Concepts red corner. From a family of fair boxing in Denver, Colorado, please make welcome Manny Melo Perez. And now, fighting out of the Farmers Insurance Thomas Swenson blue corner. From Authentic Boxing in Uzbekistan, Bekzad Nabiyev. This professional 135-pound bout is scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds. Referee is Curtis Thrasher.
Okay, gentlemen, you received your instructions earlier in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Right now, we're going to touch gloves. Good luck, gentlemen.
You heard him. 8 3-minute rounds in our main event here at Sparta Combat League's Duality. This is what's closing out a couple of days of combat sports for our fight fans here in Colorado.
We've had a chock full of fighting in Colorado, both in Colorado and out for our fighters. And this one's going to be the one, the icing on the cake, as they say, JR.
Mr. Nabiyev representing Authentic. It's a trip there. Perez was, he's going to give him a count. I thought Perez had stepped on his foot and kind of pushed him. But anyway, Authentic Boxing of Uzbekistan representing by Mr. Nabiyev.
And Manny Perez just showing pinpoint striking, as we always see from Manny.
And we were referencing Mr. Perez earlier in the afternoon, saying he comes out typically with a methodical game plan.
Very much so.
Very workmanlike boxer, keeps a good work rate, and just able to pick his opponents apart.
Also one of those guys never afraid to engage, never afraid to exchange with boxers in the pocket and outside. You know, it's funny, Manny Perez is got a pretty long reach actually for a smaller fighter. And I think he's got Nabiyev in a little bit of trouble early here, JR.
He was able to push him back with another punch there. And I don't mean push, actually, I meant to say stagger him back a little bit.
And here what we're seeing is, you can see Manny Perez sets everybody up by decoying them to the body. That's a trademark of his. He plays to the body, and then he really comes over the top with that right hand hard. So look for him to constantly kind of drive that body attack, but then really flurry heavy to the head.
Nabiyev doing a nice job of not throwing single punches, not getting caught up and just trying to go for one power shot. Knows that he's in for a longer fight, going to have to put in his work, and doing a good job mixing his combinations.
You know, the question's going to be the altitude, right? We always talk about that. Is Nabiyev ready for the altitude here? Obviously, Manny Perez is, trains here and is from here. But, you know, fighters that come, especially in long fights, and you're talking about an 8-round fight here, so there's plenty of time to get tired.
What is the altitude of Uzbekistan, Ron?
You know, I don't know. My last name's not Google today, so it's Goldstein, not Google. But we, and look, a lot of times we see the guys that come in from out of town they're slow starters.
Right.
I just don't think that you can afford to have a slow start against a guy like Manny Perez.
And Nabiyev not really starting slow. I wouldn't call round one a feeling out process. These guys are getting right to it.
Manny Perez is really able to connect here. And I think he's got the timing of Nabiyev down pretty well. We're already seeing a little bit of a swelling under the left eye of Nabiyev. So, you know, for Manny Perez, that pressure game, and then we take a look at the replay here. We see Nabiyev looking to dig to the body, but, you know, Manny Perez stays constantly busy. Those hooks really are his trademark. I mean, it is his trademark.
And Nabiyev, you've talked about it all night long, Ron, wanting people to go body, head, body, head. Nabiyev doing a very nice job of that, and he has caught Perez a couple of times with the head punch because it followed the body punch so nicely.
Very true. I think that I think, you know, you can see Nabiyev right here getting some instruction from his corner. I'm sure that they're probably saying to him, hey, you know, you definitely need to crank up the output here because we don't want Manny Perez getting too far ahead on the cards. Second round of action begins, and now Nabiyev picks up the pace. And Manny Perez is starting to land.
And for those who are wondering the answer to the question, what is the altitude of Uzbekistan? 1,600 feet.
Of course it is. Big difference from here. So we'll see how that plays in. And we'll see if Nabiyev has been here long enough to really acclimate to the difference in altitude.
You know, they talk about fighters and athletes and different teams coming in early in order to try to get acclimated. In order to build blood cells and generate that additional oxygen, it takes weeks and weeks and weeks.
That's right.
So
That's
folks
right.
that are coming in a couple days ahead of time,
might as well stay home.
Yeah, feeling that they're going to gain a little bit, really physiologically not a possibility.
That's exactly right. And we're seeing a beautifully tight defense from Manny Perez, as you can see. Hands up high, really tight to the head.
Yeah, a little tighter than in round one because, like I said,
right.
going body head was his opponent and did get a couple of nice headshots in there.
You know, and it looks like Nabiyev packed some power too. So, you know, with his record, he's definitely got some very big influence in here in keeping Manny Perez's defense tight.
And a good amount of experience for Nabiyev.
Absolutely. It's kind of weird. They almost look alike.
Yeah, agreed. I was thinking that myself. Oh, beautiful head
Nice.
movement
Yep.
there by both fighters.
Oh, and Manny Perez just starting to put combinations together. Keeping his output high. Again, just a great way to really establish yourself as dominant to a judge. Stay busy.
Corner in Nabiyev asking for the uppercut. I don't really see the opening for it.
Manny Perez lands a big left hook that kind of staggers Nabiyev a little bit. And Nabiyev is a power puncher. There's no question about it. He's landed some hard shots too.
Nabiyev listening to his corner well, offers the uppercut that they were calling for. Perez apparently heard the corner too because he was ready for it.
Really good head work from Manny Perez, and that's also a trademark of his. He's never a stationary target for any hitter, especially a big hitter like Nabiyev is.
And Nabiyev, for as much power as it looks like he's packing into his punches, he does a nice job of not loading up, not winding up. Not a lot of telegraph to it.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's just Perez, such a seasoned fighter.
But, you know, again, we talked about late starters. Nabiyev looks like he's starting to feel it now in terms of starting to feel good. He just gave his coaches that nod, and yeah, I know, I'm in it. So, second round here, as we take a look at the replay here, we see both these guys really cranking out the outflow of punches. Really good, tight work from both guys, but the way that I'm seeing Nabiyev improve since the first round is he's finishing better in exchanges.
And at the end of the round there, you saw Perez just drop his hands, almost taunting his opponent, using his head motion, using his shoulder rolls in order to evade all the punches, and just showing a little bit of disregard for his opponent's power. You and I are talking about Nabiyev being a power puncher. Perez trying to say that doesn't really matter to me. I see it coming.
Yep.
Which, nothing wrong with frustrating your opponent while you're in there.
Especially when you've got the skill level of a Manny Perez. I just love the way that Manny Perez keeps those hands up when he's firing off jabs. Nabiyev is starting to land, JR. He is making a fight out of this for sure right now.
Definitely putting more power into it. The only thing that I'm seeing is Nabiyev is starting to be a little bit more flat-footed, starting to plant his feet in order to get those power shots.
Very much of that forward prodding type of Eastern Bloc style. We see a lot of that in the Olympics as well.
Just plant and throw.
Yep.
Versus Perez, a little more on the tips of his toes, a little faster
Better
with the
boxing.
combinations,
Yes.
a little more pop, pop, pop. And nothing wrong with either style.
Yeah, both are effective. I think the skill level is a little bit different for Perez. I would say that Perez is more skillful, but Nabiyev really packs power. I mean, look at the punches moving Manny Perez when they land.
Perez's ability to have a read on his opponent's attack is really just something masterful.
He's one of those guys, I've always said, he's one of those guys that sees punches coming from far away.
Right. Well put, well put.
But he's in a fight today.
And Nabiyev, I think, starting to slow just a little bit. Those last few punches, I've seen him start to push him out just a little bit less snap on him. So possibly that altitude we were talking about.
Sure. And now we're seeing Manny Perez really control the distance, pushing Nabiyev away, getting him out from crowding him in tight like that. That's where Manny Perez wants it. He wants to keep this outside.
Beautiful combination.
Yes.
Right left
Yes.
by Perez.
You don't want to get caught in the pocket in an exchange with a big hitter like Nabiyev. And look at the finishing over the top from Manny Perez. Beautiful. Body attacks over the top with the right hand to the head. Wonderfully done.
Perez just target hunting right now. 30 seconds left.
Beautiful. Beautiful hard right hand being landed right now from Perez and left. Oh, and Manny Perez is really starting to put it on him.
Right. And a little bit of stagger in the footwork.
And left. Beautifully done.
Perez starting to feel a 10-second clacker. Nabiyev trying to put a good end on the round. You can see him loading up, though, Ron.
Very much so. And when you're loading up that way, when you miss, you're exhausted. So that's going to play. The Conor effect or the Conor McGregor syndrome, right? Tries to load up all punches to knock him out. As we take a look at the replay here, we're seeing Manny Perez keeping that distance beautiful, throwing shots from outside, mixing up the left and the right hooks to the head, dipping body levels, dropping to the body, and Nabiyev is looking for the answer here. That over the top right hand is really something that he's got to count on that to land.
So in the corner of Nabiyev, what are they telling him he needs to do, Ron?
I can't understand what they're saying, but I would say to him, to you, I would say that he's gonna really have to time Manny Perez's striking better. I think maybe stepping out a little bit, coming in, and finishing with the other side. Maybe Manny Perez is just so technically fluid that it's hard to really gauge and get a real beat on him.
And coming out with those hands high and tight, just like you talked about. Good job by Perez, able to keep that guard in place.
Oh, beautiful hook.
Left. Corner to Nabiyev, asking for him to turn his hips and shoulders a little more. See if he can't generate a little more power.
And I think that uppercut could be the key for Manny Perez.
Interesting that you say that because it's Nabiyev's corner that's been calling for the uppercut for the last 2 rounds.
I see the openings. I think Perez sees them as well. And I think, beautiful hooks to the head right now from Manny Perez.
Perez just moments of separation and then steps right back in the pocket, ready immediately to go right back to work.
Really digging shots from Nabiyev, and there's the angles that we were talking about. I kind of felt like his corner felt like he was just going too straightforward all the time. So I kind of was sensing that as well. And you know, with Manny Perez like that, the angles that you give him don't really matter. He's actually going to find the angles on you.
But it's certainly easier to do for him if you're
Very much
backing
so.
straight back or
Very much so.
stepping straight forward.
And the other thing that I see of Nabiyev is he's on his heels a lot when he's getting hit, and that's a problem, especially if you get hit with a really well-placed shot. You're on your heels. You got nowhere else to go but back.
Exactly. Oh, Perez, just such a good read on the distance
Beautiful.
now.
Beautiful boxing from Manny Perez. Oh, there's that uppercut.
1 minute left. It is an 8-round fight.
Almost to the halfway point of this bout. Oh, beautifully done from Manny Perez. And there's that stellar defense of Manny Perez. That bob and weave and that shoulder roll of his is just textbook.
And so fast with the ability to move his entire torso.
Absolutely. And I love the way that he's able to deflect shots, too. You see, he doesn't take the brunt of shots very heavily because he's always twisting and turning. And there's that step out and right back inside.
Almost like that back step is to load up and spring forward.
That's it. Hook combinations from Perez, beautifully done. Nabiyev is tough as hell, though, I'll tell you that.
He doesn't look like he lost any energy during that round.
Not at all.
Last round, I started thinking, maybe he was a little bit worn. This round, he kept a good pace.
Here we are taking a look at the replay of the fourth. Manny Perez keeping that right hand real tight to the chin. Beautifully done, of course. Really gauging distance beautifully, as you said, JR. Just everything that Nabiyev was throwing in that exchange seemed to have missed. And conversely, everything that Manny Perez threw hit.
And Perez, again, several times during that round, just almost contemptuously dropping his hands and saying, I have such a strong read on what you're going to do. Don't even need to keep my guard up.
Manny Perez's gift is his vision. His vision is just so seasoned that watching punches come in don't really pose a problem for Manny Perez. Oh, and that's a big, heavy right hand for Nabiyev and a huge hook to follow.
Seemingly cranking up the power just a little bit each round is Nabiyev.
Make no mistake about it, he's a strong guy, really strong guy.
Perez very comfortable with his back against the ropes. Didn't really seem to feel that he was in any hurry to get out of there.
And maybe Nabiyev is finding that he's getting his second wind here. Pressing the action this round, definitely throwing hard shots this round, but Manny Perez just caught him with a crushing right hand. Really slowed him down.
And again with his back against the ropes and just nonplussed by the whole situation.
Beautiful defense from Manny Perez, just beautiful defense. And now Nabiyev starting to land hard shots, though. Big, heavy right hook lands from Manny Perez, too.
Beautiful Nabiyev down to his feet.
Nice
Perez,
body attack.
Yeah, Perez walking away, and Nabiyev makes him pay for a moment of complacency.
And Nabiyev's coaches have definitely been in his ear about getting some angles because you're seeing him almost force those angles. And there's the step back, and that's effective for him. And there's the angles again.
Off to the side. Good eye, Ron. Perez kind of taking a round off here.
Rightfully so. His output's been huge, and that's a dangerous exchange there in this pocket. Wow. Both these guys throwing really hard shots.
Oh, good left
man.
hand by Nabiyev. Perez eats it well, though.
Both these guys have outstanding chins. Oh, Manny Perez eats a big left hook, too. Nabiyev has that wide stance that really gives him a lot of leverage when he does turn and torque that body and throw those hooks. They're very, very heavy shots.
Able to plant his feet and generate from the toes all the way up. 10-second clacker as we near the end of the fifth.
And these guys are throwing bombs.
Putting it together now.
Excellent, excellent fifth round.
Yeah, Nabiyev happy with his performance in that round.
Definitely.
I agree. That was the best round of the fight for the Uzbekistan fighter.
As we go to the replay here for the fifth round, we see these exchanges getting more ferocious, especially in tight, JR. That could be a recipe for somebody hitting the deck in this round, next round, or the one that follows. I'm sorry, the next one or the next one that follows.
Next couple rounds.
Yeah, next couple rounds, exactly. Thank you. But I think that you're exactly right on the money. I think that Nabiyev is starting to feel it.
And as much as we've talked about, you know, the possibility of altitude being a factor, Nabiyev not really fading here.
No, I think he's an extremely well-conditioned athlete. I think that he's also starting to get into the groove of the fight. I don't know if it's too little too late, but I think he's definitely getting into the groove of the fight. I think he caught Manny Perez with the hardest shots of the fight that Manny's experienced so far in the last round.
And be interesting to see if Manny comes out looking to put it together a little stronger, have a little higher volume output after seemingly taking just a little bit of a breather in round 5.
Both these guys in great shape. I mean, just great shape. Look at the defense, though, of Manny Perez. Shoulder rolls, tight. Changing levels.
Nabiyev trying to move his feet to get the right angle for Perez's defense, but Perez just so good with dipping that body.
And you know, the beauty of Manny Perez is he's never sloppy in a fight. You know, we see a lot of guys, oh, big hook right there, lands for Manny Perez. And another beautiful combination for Perez lands. Nabiyev really planting those feet and really throwing hard shots, though. Oh, goodness.
Another one. Nabiyev taking some hard shots, but the kind of output that Nabiyev's having here is what Perez was doing in rounds 1 through 3.
Nabiyev waving him on. He's definitely feeling better. Oh.
Crushing right hand.
Beautifully done, Manny Perez.
That step back, bounce forward,
Beautiful.
overhand right again by Perez.
Look at the combination work right now from Manny Perez. And the ring generalship and the boxing wisdom of Manny Perez is being on display too. You see he throws a heavy barrage of combination punches, and then he shoulder rolls for a few seconds to get his breath back, and he's doing it now.
Nabiyev not really slowing in his attack here in the 6th.
Not at all. He's been consistent the whole fight. Oh, these are the exchanges that are really dangerous, though, late in the fight.
Agreed.
Big right hand from Perez lands.
Perez just a little off balance momentarily.
Look at the quickness of Perez, too. My goodness. Such a fun fighter to watch. Oh, beautifully done.
Watch the head, says referee Curtis Thrasher. And Perez caught with his hands down for just a part of a second.
Oh, these guys have the place on their feet. What a round.
Good round.
What
Only
a
two
fight.
to go.
Beautiful action.
These guys are getting the crowd into it.
Getting me into it. 7th round as we take a look at the replay of the 6th, JR. Heated exchanges going on. Both guys looking to take each other's heads off for the most part. But defensively, the defensive avoidance of heavy strike eating from Manny Perez has really been the difference so far, because he's really been able to land heavy shots on Nabiyev.
And making your opponent miss, so their arm or their hand, or as they twist their body, goes past their target, have to contract all their muscles,
and
stop that
them.
motion,
yeah.
Bring it back. It's absolutely exhausting. Throwing a punch where you miss your target like that, much less dozens of them, is really just a drain on the gas tank. Might as well poke a hole in it with the screwdriver.
Yep. Very tiring stuff, but affects nothing. Look at these guys, picked up right where they left off. And these exchanges are dangerous exchanges right now.
For both fighters.
Yes, 100%. Thudding shots landing to the body from Nabiyev.
Perez still a good bit of bounce in his step. And again, just so comfortable on the ropes.
Really is. He's just an expert at gauging distance. He really is just so fluid and so systematic with the way that he sees the openings and approaches and attacks the openings.
Big wind up on that one that Perez was able to see coming.
And you know, Nabiyev's style is a style that's actually perfect for Manny Perez. Nabiyev is going to come to you, forward, straight linear lines. He's not going to give you a lot of head movement. He's just going to give you a lot of pressure. So what we do see from Manny Perez is we see him shoulder roll. We see him dip levels. We see him mix the attacks of the body and the head, as we've seen a majority of the day for the fighters that have come out on top. So almost a tailor-made opponent for Manny Perez.
Yeah, somebody's willing to stand right in front of you and swing and bang away when you've got that vision that Perez has. Definitely not something that you're bothered by.
The other part of Manny Perez that always impresses me is his balance. He's very, very well balanced on his feet. And we've seen, we talked about it earlier, how Nabiyev is on his heels a lot of times when he's receiving punches. Manny Perez is never on his heels. He's always leaning forward. So his ability to absorb those shots is very, very productive for him, because he's still in that forward lunge position to where when he engages in offense, he moves you when he hits you.
And even when he takes that step back.
That's right.
He's still bouncing off that foot in a forward motion and able to generate a lot of power. Referee finally has to intervene just momentarily. He's really had very little work to do this fight.
Two stud fighters, that's what happens.
Absolutely. 10 seconds till we enter the final round of our main event here at Sparta Combat League Duality.
And you can see Manny Perez really digging deep right now.
Yeah, got to be careful about opening that mouth. Don't want to get your jaw jacked around.
Second to last round, we're coming up to our final round of the bout. Manny Perez says, I don't need no stinking stool. Here we are in the replay, and the pressure is heavy from Nabiyev. He's in your face. He's literally pressing you, trying to break you, throwing heavy shots, because he knows that if he catches you at the right angle, it's lights out.
No quit, no stepping back from Nabiyev.
None.
Just letting Mr. Perez know he's in a fight all afternoon long.
I love this. I love watching this style fighting. On both of these guys, too, I should say. when you watch the technical superiority of a guy like Manny Perez, you just can't help but really appreciate the sweet science.
Absolutely.
Final round here, JR. Hell of a fight.
It has been.
Manny Perez never disappoints, especially at home. And I'll tell you right now, Beksid Nabiyev has not disappointed any of us and has truly brought the fight to Manny Perez. Oh, this is dangerous stuff in here. I love it.
Exciting indeed.
Oh!
Perez just
ferocious
with his fights now, or shots.
Oh, and Perez landing a hard right hand again. Another right hand.
Nice work by the Colorado fighter here to start the final round.
Beautiful. Look at this fight. Chants of Manny throughout the crowd, trying to fire up their fighter. I don't know if he needs the firing up. This guy's on fire today all the way through this fight.
Corner Nabiyev calling for continued pressure.
Very dangerous exchanges in here. Big, heavy left hand or right hand lands flush for Manny Perez.
And Perez having to take some deep breaths. He really put it out there at the beginning of the round.
Oh yeah, loading up right now, very dangerous. Big digging shots right now from Nabiyev. Nice uppercut and a straight right hand lands as well for Nabiyev. Manny Perez looks to tie him up and does.
What a great final round.
Outstanding action. Oh, big right hand lands for Nabiyev too. Good round for this young man.
Nabiyev circling almost all the way behind Perez. And Perez uncoiling to get that strike.
And that's the balance that we talked about. Oh, big heavy shots landing from Nabiyev. Wow. Good round for Nabiyev.
Less than a minute to go.
Manny Perez looking to tie him up. Smart. There's the experience showing. When you're tired, you got to stay out of the danger zone, and Manny's right in it right now. But digging deep on the balls of his feet, too.
Nabiyev willing to stand right there with him and trade.
Tough guy.
We're into the final 15 seconds.
Oh, a big right hand lands for Manny Perez. I think he's got Nabiyev hurt.
Both these guys putting everything into the final 10 seconds.
What a fight.
Crowd's on their feet.
Oh!
Perez lands well to finish.
Oh, look at this. What a fight.
Standing ovation from the Colorado crowd. Not only for their own fighter, but for the effort put forward by the Uzbekistan fighter.
Outstanding.
Mr. Nabiyev, what a great fight. Here we go on the replay, Ron.
Nothing but action.
What a tremendous output by both these guys throughout the entirety of the final round, especially the start of the round for Manny Perez, and then about the last 15 seconds.
That was an instant classic of a round, JR, as they like to say.
Indeed.
Both these guys literally toe-to-toe for the entire fight. Entire fight. Beautiful job, both these guys. What a war.
That is a great way to finish a fight. I don't know if the camera was panning around, but
this place was on fire.
Bunch of empty seats, no butts in the seats
That's
on
right.
that one.
That's right. Very, very interesting and fun fight to watch. I think the technical superiority of Manny Perez was really the difference. I think that the toughness of Nabiyev was clearly evident today. But I just think that Manny Perez had a little bit too much for him, especially early in the fight.
Get the gloves of Mr. Nabiyev unwrapped. Look like Butch is in there ready to read the results already. And congratulations to our main event winner, the Colorado.
didn't get the second half of the card. From now on, I'll just. I thought in between we'd have 15 minutes intermission. I could charge it, but I didn't have enough time to charge it and get back up there. But I got the whole first half for you, and I'll send them to you.
You are good to go, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, I hope I did okay with that.